Hi, I'm Jennifer Janisch, owner of Adored Salon and Adored Signature Hand-Tied Hair Extensions. I'm obsessed with curly hair. I cut it, style it, and extend it, and this podcast is all about my curly girl obsessions that stretch far beyond just curly hair. Hey, it's me, Jennifer Janisch from Adored Salon, Adored Signature Hand-Tied Hair, and the Curly Girls Obsession, coming to you live from my vacation. I'm in this cute, cozy VRBO that's right on the ocean, and just sitting there watching the waves is one of my most favorite things to do. And it's so interesting. We're sitting there and my husband says, I think the tide is going out. Like we put our chairs down. And when it comes to the tide, it's always very interesting because it's such a rhythm of like nature, right? Like the tide comes in, the tide goes out, the tide comes in, the tide goes out. And depending on the day of the month, the tide is higher than others. Depending on the time of day, the tide is higher. But it's a definite pattern of life that is consistent, that remains the same, and you can always count on. It's the gravity pull of the moon that creates it all and makes it super interesting. And so as I'm sitting there, I'm like, gosh, I feel like I kind of love to observe things, people, patterns, how things work, why they work, and just how people in general are in life, right? So the tide, it's very consistent. It's always going to be the same. And people, because of emotions, fluctuate. We would love to say that we're super consistent all the time and that we get consistent results. And it's all well and perfect, but a lot of the times we use our emotions to guide us, and that removes us from consistency. Our emotions tend to get in the way and create the problems. Like, I know personally, I'm like, okay, I should be working out, I should be doing my thing, and I want to sit longer and drink my coffee in the morning, or I will schedule something that normally I wouldn't schedule within that time frame. And I'm like, oh, there it goes. Can't do this. Can't work out right now because I have to go do X, Y, and Z. And the truth of the matter is when I plan it out and I remain consistent and I do the thing gets done always, right? So let me lead this into the coaching programs that I am starting. Because again, that consistency in nature always provides for nature, right? The tide, the food, the plants, the crops. Like if you really think about it, nature never suffers unless there's a world catastrophe, right? Like nature is always providing for nature, and nature always has an insane abundance. And that's because nature is ridiculously consistent. So, to the coaching program, how does that even relate? Like, Jen, where are you going with this? How can you see the relation? What is it that it is about this coaching program and whatever the hell you're talking about? Okay, so coaching helps people figure out the consistency, right? Coaching helps you determine what it is that you need to work on, right? Like the way that we get to what you want to work on is figuring out what your life vision is, what is your vision for your business, for your work behind the chair, and then we start to break it down into goals. And then with the goals, we break it down into bite-sized pieces so that it's achievable. And again, you're like, well, I could do that on my own. Okay, well, can I go work out for 15 minutes on my own? I will think of a million excuses of why not to do it. And that's why a coach is ridiculously important. When I worked with a personal trainer last year, I was so consistent with her. It was every day at 6 a.m. without fail. I showed up, I was there to work out. And I loved it in the beginning, and it was so regimented, and it got me the results that I wanted at the time, right? And then I decided that I wanted my mornings back with my coffee and my dogs and my flowers. So I stopped doing it. And I just was trading up time for time in that situation. I knew that last year, I spent it working out, getting my mind, body, being back in balance. This year, I was like, okay, we're going to utilize this time to go after the goals that you want to go after. You're going to sit down consistently every week, write out your week, write out your three main objectives that you want to get done for the week. And then every day is going to have certain things that also need to get done, because there's a lot more things than three main objectives every week for me with the businesses and stuff. But if I could put out there the three main things that I actually had to achieve, there was no question. Like, if it didn't get done, there was going to be problems. So that's how I started at the beginning of the week. And that's what I moved into when I stopped with working out, was like, okay, these are the things that I want to achieve this year. And these are the smaller goals broken down. These are the action steps I'm going to take to get there. And because I am a regimented person in that sense and very consistent, I have started to go through the plan. I have had so much help along the way, though. Again, even though she doesn't know it, the person who helps me with marketing has been a great tool to success, because every week I check in with her and I'm like, okay, what do you need from me? What do you need from me? What do you need from me? She gives me the list. I go after it. I tackle it. And it helps to have someone telling me what to do, even though in a world where we all want to be creatives, we all want to do our own thing. Sometimes you got to go back to the basics and you need a little bit of help and accountability. She gives me the help and she keeps me accountable. And that's how we get big things done. So, the coaching business, your three main things that you want to go after. This is for one-on-one coaching. And I start out with three main, because from there we can branch off into all the other things that come from those three main things. And it works really, really good. I do this with my team at the salon. We discuss monthly, like, their goals, how they're going to get there, what's their 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, what's their 30, 90, 60 days, right? And they have me all the time, as I do them, to bounce things off of and help us keep us accountable. So, to the coaching, that's why it's imperative to have a coach, because a coach helps keep you accountable. So, for the one on one, my part in it is helping you to grow personally, help to keep you accountable, make you responsible for the things that you need to do. Although I'm not going to hold your hand, I'm going to help you, and I'm going to hope that you achieve these things. And if you're paying for someone to do this, odds are you're going to do it. And then when it comes to the group coaching for the students, and this could be students and stylists that have just totally lost their way and want to go back to the basics, that is group coaching that is going to cover the things that I feel are super important for a new stylist, or a stylist that's lost their way, or a student in training, to start preparing yourself and setting yourself up for success. That program is a 6-month program, and it's live and in person with me. There is bi-monthly calls. There's homework. There's things to do while time is off. There's going to be exercises that we'll do together as a group. And throughout the years of being a hairstylist, owning a hair salon, watching other stylists grow, watching myself, like when I reflect back on to my life as a stylist, I think of when I first came out of school, how I worked, and literally within the first 6 months of me being a stylist, I was at a conference. I can't remember the name of it, but by a very influential person within the hair industry named Michael Cole. And like, this is a long time ago, guys. We're talking 34 years ago when I did this program, and it was a 2 day immersive program. And it really discussed how to level up, how to grow yourself as a stylist, how to um, take initiative with your own schedule, how to figure out how to create more wealth with the clients that were in your chair. And you got to remember, this is pre social media, pre email, pre everything, right? Like, internet did not exist. So this was hardcore me doing my own thing. And I I think the course was like $150 35 years ago, which I mean that's was a week's salary at that time, because that's how that salon paid me at the time. It was a guarantee of $150. And yeah, like that's kind of insane when I think about it like that, that it was a week's worth of a salary for this conference. And what it did for me was, like people say tenfold, I'm going to say 10 million, right? Because it grew my thinking power in such a way that without social media, without the internet, without, marketing, email marketing or email campaigns, I was able to become a six-figure stylist. Like, I call myself the OG of the six-figure stylist back when it was like unheard of. It was in the late 90s when I did that. And trust me, I worked my ass off. There were zero boundaries, but I will say the boundaries, we did not have cell phones, so my clients were not texting me then. That was a totally different ball game. But I worked a lot of hours and I loved it. I also had the time to invest in it because I was not in college. I was doing hair. My friends were away at school. My now husband, at that time, he was away at college. And so I had the time to give to it. I had the time to invest. But something everybody should know too is that with any business, when you are trying to get it off the ground, it's crucial to invest your time in the beginning. And when you're a hairstylist, say you're working in a commission salon, right? You're a business within a business. Your clients are your business within the business that you work in. If you have a suite, obviously you have your own business. If you rent a chair, that's your business within a business. And salon ownership is about building that business. So when you go and you start these endeavors, like, you've got to give it your all. You got to put everything into it. And it is long hours, but it's different because it's yours. So it's so insanely rewarding. It's not like you're working long hours at a retail store folding up clothes. Like, that's doing nothing for your future, right? But when you're working on your business within a business, or your business, or you're working on the next steps of your career as a student, everything you're investing in yourself. You're investing in you and the promotion of your success. That's why I feel the knowledge that I have to bring to the table after being a stylist for this long, 35 years, owning a salon for 11 years, creating a brand 6 years ago of hair extensions, which the other thing with that is that brand It's a curly line of hair extensions. My extensions do not look like the average extensions when you walk into a room. They look like this. And let me say that these babies have been up in a bun. I've been on the beach today. I've walked the beach yesterday. We flew, we did everything. I just was sitting out there in the sun with this hair and it still looks freaking, I mean, amazing. And I'm going to give that kudos to myself because if you don't pat your own back, nobody else is going to do it for you. So I do think my hair looks awesome today. But going back to building that success for yourself, there is nothing else like investing in yourself because you're never going to lose on that. You're never going to lose on yourself because it's you. You know what you need to put in it, you know what you need to take out of it, and you're never going to forget the fundamentals that are taught in that coaching program because they're all stored in your brain. And when they help you today, tomorrow, great. When they help you in the, sorry, that strand, you always have that to go back to in the future as well. So you can't lose on a coaching program. And when I talk about the education that I took when I was 18 years old, just 6 months out of hair school in that Michael Cole class, I still reflect on it today, 35 years later, because the tools that were taught in the class were that impactful to my career, my personality, my drive. Like I have kind of always been a driven, not kind of, I am a driven person. And that class was the tool that catapulted me into being even more driven. It helped me understand the business of being a stylist. It helped me understand the business of selling myself because also within the coaching program, something that is near and dear to my heart that I will say over and over again is we are in the business of sales as hairstylists. As people, we are in the business of sales. You may not realize it, but you are always in the business of selling yourself. And hopefully it's that you're selling yourself with your best foot forward all the time, right? Because when the world sees a better you, they want you. They can't help but want to be a part of your circle. And as a hairstylist, that's really important. You want to portray your best foot forward when you're at the Target, when you're at the grocery store, if you go to Michael's or you're out to dinner, because people will notice the light that you bring to the table. And if you look the part of your brand, they're going to open their eyes and they're going to see it. And they're going to want to, again, be a part of it. Let me give you an example. We got here yesterday and we came back, we took a nap, and then we went to dinner. And we're walking to this Mexican restaurant. I sit down, and this woman, 3 tables over, is like yelling at me across the restaurant, "Where do you get your hair cut?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Chicago. I'm not from around here." She's like, "Well, what are you doing after dinner?" Now she was laughing, right? But I think she kind of wasn't. If I would have said that I would have cut her hair, I think she would have taken me up on it, to be totally honest. She can't stop staring at me and she can't stop looking at my hair because she had naturally curly hair. And she was talking about what a struggle it is to find someone, as I know, to cut naturally curly hair, make it look awesome. And she was in awe over my hair, right? So I tell her the technique that I use. I'm like, you might be able to find a certified salon out here. And from there, they left. Her husband and her kids said goodbye to us. After dinner, we go to the grocery store. And we're in the grocery store and we're walking through, and this woman comes up to me. And my husband, I can just see out of the corner of his eye, he's like, "Oh my God, I just want to get home. I'm so tired." And the other thing that I do too is I smile at everybody I see, good or bad. right? Like if I'm in a good mood, I want everybody else to be in a good mood. So you may as well, again, let the light shine. And I smiled at her and I'm walking and she's walking towards me. Like her eyes are so wide. And she's like, oh my gosh, your hair is so amazing. You should you should be a model for your hair because it's so gorgeous. And I look at my husband, he's kind of cracking up. And she's like, no, 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 no. I'm serious. You don't see hair like this. And she's like, uh, where do you get your hair done? And I tell her that I'm a hairstylist. She's like, damn, I wish I could buy that hair. Now my husband finds the value in this conversation. And he's like, well, you actually can buy her hair. It's for sale. And she looked at me like, what is he talking about? And he says, well, my wife owns a hair extension line that caters to curly hair and textured hair. And therefore, if you were to find a stylist who could install those hair extensions for you here in Florida, you could have my wife's hair too. And I was like, good job, Brad. Wow, he really is listening when I'm talking to him, right? And it actually kind of choked me up, to be honest with you. I started kind of getting teary-eyed, and I'm not a crier. I don't get choked up easy. So that was really kind of big for me, whatever. But he's like, Jen, make sure you give her one of your cards. So I'm digging in my purse. Thankfully, I actually had a business card. This woman took that business card and she's like, I'm not kidding you when I tell you that I've never seen hair as amazing as yours. And I'm grateful for this business card. And so there you go, in the grocery store on vacation. And if I would have had my scissors and some thread and a needle, I could have cut some hair, I could have sewn some hair in, but obviously that wasn't happening because I am on vacation. But spreading your light is the key to both of those situations, right? I smiled at both of those women. I made myself approachable. And just like that, it would have been business in my chair if I was from around here. It actually could have been business if I, like I said, had my scissors and my thread and needle, because I would have been able to sell these women on anything. And that's the stuff I'm talking about. When it comes to coaching, there's more to it than just doing the things. It's learning the things that are going to set you up for success for the rest of your life. Like I said, that class was super impactful for me. Michael Cole discussed how to make money, how to get referrals, how to get clients. Michael Cole did not discuss living with your light because that kind of wasn't really a thing then, right? And it's something that I have discovered to be a really useful tool in the toolbox. The more you project the light, how positive you are, it's going to give back. It's that law of attraction. It's just like what I talked about with nature, how nature's cyclical and always doing the same things, and it's always getting abundance, right? Smiling at everyone has put so many bodies in my chair over 34 years, and being a good person and nice and easy to talk to has created wealth beyond belief. And it's a key tool, along with envisioning the future that you want, setting the goals, doing the things, right? So full circle here. I know we discussed a lot of things today. I'm on vacation. Usually the water just totally motivates me to want to be better, do better, reflect on life, all the things. So I knew that I could knock out this podcast. And well, it's not a funny one. It could be an enlightening one. And I've probably said and a million times, but I hope there was a little bit of a takeaway there. The group coaching course is for students and new stylists or stylists that have lost their way and just want to go back to the basics. It's a 6-month program. It's going to have a monthly membership fee. The one-on-one coaching can be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year, depending on what it is that you want to get done in your career or within your salon if you are a salon owner. Like I said, too, I've been a stylist for 35 years. I've been a salon owner for 11, a brand creator for 6. And that was the other part of that story, that these extensions just did not look like the everyday average extensions. They're curly. I've been in an uphill battle with that all along internally, right? I should say that it's awesome because it's so specialized. It's got its ideal client figured out right away, wavy to curly. There's so many dynamics of that extension line that you would think would be a slam dunk, but there's such a lack of knowledge when it comes to wavy or textured extensions. And I am one that just does not give up, right? And I want the extension community to embrace wavy to curly hair extensions for their clients that do have wavy to curly hair, because texture matching is just as important as color matching. And I've tried to make this voice loud and proud, and I continue to do so. And sometimes it's hard because it's not as accepted. Sometimes it's easy because everybody wants it, right? Like it's the moment, right? The high tide, the low tide. It's how things go. Some things ebb and flow, right? So the brand creator for 6 years, and then I started doing education 4 years ago, one-on-one education. First, actually 4 years ago, it started virtually, and which was great because it was the pandemic. And then it moved into one-on-one coaching a year and a half later. I did one-on-one coaching for a good 2+ years. And then, if you guys know, this last year we rolled out in-person group classes that were in person. And me and my team from Adored Salon have traveled all over the US teaching people all about curly hair and curly hair extensions. It's been pretty awesome. But starting from nothing and finding great success in all those areas, because I'm committed, I'm consistent, and I don't give up. And the same is with the coaching program. You want a coach that's been in the trenches where you are, that's done the things that you've done. I'm not coming at you like a corporate coaching person that's never done hair. I am not coming at you like someone who's speaking to you from textbook knowledge. I'm speaking to you from real knowledge that I've been through. I've actually done it. And all the things that I'm going to ask you to do through this coaching program, I've done it myself and I found success there and I know it works. So it's through your follow through that you're going to gain the knowledge and the wisdom you need to grow a clientele or grow your salon to the place that you want it to be, that you can be so proud of. And if you're already so proud of it, but you're like, I need some fine tuning. I feel like my organization is just out the door. I can't get a hold of anything. Or you're striving for a community. These are things that I'm looking to build within this coaching program that I want you to be a part of. So I hope I said it all well. Like, I have a lot of passion for this industry. I have a lot of knowledge to share. I've built successful teams more than once. And my team would also tell you how much that I have helped them grow as well as they have helped me grow. But having that knowledge is like their safety net, I feel like, in life and in the salon. They come back to me, they ask me a lot of questions. We go through things, I teach them things, they understand things, they teach me things. Like, and all of this knowledge is in my head, just waiting to be shared with you. So I honestly can't wait. And the funny tip that I'm going to leave you on for this coaching program, my salon, the Curly Girls Obsessions, I would, my obsession, I think you guys see me in these white tank tops all the time, right? They are literally men's Hanes tank tops, period. And I like the size small because I don't like it to be baggy. And for this vacation, can I just tell you the one thing that I had to go out and buy was a pack of 6 white Hanes tank tops. I want to say these tank tops run about $12.99 for 6 of them. And it was the one thing that I could not leave for vacation without, because that's just the kind of girl I am. I like to be comfortable. I've got my Laguna Beach pants, which is where the whole hand tied movement started for me. I think it was 2017, December of 2017. And these pants I love. I take them every trip I go on. They're with me all the time. I love them so much. I've worn the butt out of them and they've been sewn back together more than once. So, fun tip about me, vacation must Hanes tank tops from the Target at 6 for $12.99. Vacation must, because it's the best comfort wear there is. So, all right, signing off. Next week, I'm hoping to have mini podcasts condensed into one from the event we're doing called Beauty Gives Back. It is in Oak Brook, Illinois at the Oak Brook Hills Hotel on September 15th. If you go online, I'm sure you can still get tickets if you would like to come, if you're a student or a stylist or a barber, an esthetician. There's a lot of motivational speakers there, and me and my team are going to be there. So we'll see you there if you show up. And yeah, so I'm hoping to get some quickie podcasts out of that to put together for all of you, speaking to students, stylists, and who knows who else, right? So have an awesome day.